Yesterday, I did a video on Thanos and how that meta tyrant is a still viable and powerful deck in this metagame. Today, we're revisiting another meta tyrant. That's right, it's Loki. This is the Loki list that I have been running to general success in the top 10 of Marvel Snap's Infinite Rank. Now, this is a list that is based on Yakublevich's list from Golden Gauntlet 2, which finished second and was basically a full tech deck looking to use Loki in specific situations, but mostly maximizing the amount of amazing good cards that you could play. That list, on the other hand, was more based around Fenris wolf and Gladiator and Killmonger, whereas this list is based around a different wolf, Werewolf-By-Night. And I think that adds a bit of punch to a deck that was otherwise not exactly always in the best possible situations when they had to compete on points and the tech wasn't always there to do the work. Having Merlin and Werewolf available in a deck like this means that you have a very oddly large amount of scaling power from a deck that is otherwise very clear cut on where the ceiling for its power can be. I think both of these packages are fairly comparable, but I've particularly enjoyed the Merlin Werewolf style of gameplay, and I've actually been pleasantly surprised by Loki itself. This list is another deck that is built heavily on discounts. It's not just Loki, it's Zabu, it's Surge, it's all of that stuff. But it's also built on tech cards. I think the easiest way to understand this deck is to call it Sarah-less Sarah. You don't need a Sarah to get you your discounts on all of this stuff. You have Zabu, you have Surge, and you have Loki. You're going to be getting a Sarah level of discounts throughout the game anyway, and then you're going to use the stuff that's discounted in order to supplement your tech cards, which are going to win you games, or your stats plan with Galacta and Gwenpool. This deck does have more stats than the typical versions. Instead of the Killmonger Gladiator thing, we have Werewolf-By-Night and Copycat, which are generally gonna be bigger than those cards, but there are some downsides to not being a Killmonger deck. Gladiator, on the other hand, I've been incredibly disappointed with in most decks that I play him in. He has become an expert merchant, selling games away where no other card would lose me the game. Gladiator is able to lose me the game. So I'm very happy to have his ass out of this deck and a lot more control over where my points are being allocated on the final turn of the game. Loki is a bit of a contextual card. A lot of the time, if you see a deck that has extra cards in it, you're going to be pretty interested in playing Loki whenever you can. A lot of this is because the extra card decks are all just chock full of sick-ass cards ready to do cool stuff to you that you are going to then flip around onto your opponent. People are not playing combo decks with Thanos or Arishem or Agamotto in them. So Loki is very much built for those matchups at a baseline. There are, of course, other things that are going to make you want to play Loki early, right? Like, let's say you have a couple of relevant tech cards in your hand and you're just like, oh, okay, my hand is pretty heavy. Let's get some of their cards. Combo decks are at a relative nadir in Marvel Snap right now, which is not to say that they are bad, but just that people are very much in the mid-range space when you play right now. So there's a lot of people who are playing decks that Loki is good against. Loki is a mid-range crusher, and if you run into matchups that are not that, things like move, bounce, or discard, Loki is just very, very bad. One of the things that I really like about Copycat in this deck is the information Copycat can give you. Oh, well, what deck is this? What are they doing? That kind of stuff can really be some reasonable information that can tip you off about whether Loki is good or not. If you're getting a Dakin off of a Copycat, you can reasonably look at Loki and be like, okay, I know their discard. I better wait and get my tech cards because that's how I win this matchup, not getting rid of them. If you look at something that comes off a Loki, like an Iron Man or a Copycat Iron Man or whatever, you can, that one's actually pretty tough because it's like it might be Tribunal, but a lot of the time you're like, okay, maybe this is like ongoing. Okay, maybe this is a deck that is playing Athena type stuff with AV. That kind of stuff is all on the table there. Basically, use the information you have in order to make smart decisions with Loki, because it's very easy to lose games if you, like, play Loki into, like, a move deck. You're just not going to have the ability to replicate what they can do. Zabu's amazing. It discounts your 4-drops. You're running 4 of them. You're very interested in doing that. The combination of Zabu and Surge yielding up to 2 cost Galacta and Gwenpool. Very, very, very disgusting. Completely and utterly disgusting thing to do. And of course, you're going to try to do that as much as you can. I do talk down on this deck's power output, but one of the easiest ways to boost your power output is to play a Galacta on turn 3 instead of turn 4. That's just a free 3 points that you get. That's a really, really common thing whenever it lines up. Just a very solid turn 3 card. Surge might be the most ubiquitous card in Marvel Snap, and I think a lot of that is just that it's very hard for her to be actively bad. She's just always going to do something decent, and because 2-drops sort of pack out or cap out at 2-3, you end up not really losing too much because you get 1 proc, you get the point back, it's usually going to be fine. And so since most things are like 2-3 with upside, Surge, because she gets her first proc, basically plays as 2-3 with upside. And a lot of what she does that's really, really crucial is just the energy cheat, right? Cards like Galacta are better the earlier they're on the board. Cards like Werewolf are better the earlier they're on the board. You get a Werewolf and a trigger or something along those lines. You go like Werewolf +1 on 3. You can do that off of either a 0'd 1 or a 2'd Werewolf. All of that kind of stuff works really well in a deck like this. And because of what she can do, there are also lines where you have like a good Loki into Surge. That kind of stuff is just impossible to beat in mid-range matchups. Hawkeye is part of the sort of werewolf package that we're doing here. Merlin, of course, just going to be in the deck anyway. Hawkeye, a little bit additional. Just a very solid card, adding stuff for werewolf. It's good to see Kate Bishop shine, in large part because cards like Iron Patriot and Sam Wilson have largely fallen off. In previous metagames, before those cards got nerfed, they would probably be here instead of Kate Bishop. Our Wolf would probably be a little bit less worth doing, and I think that is, you know, a very possible and reasonable outcome for how this deck would have been built if those cards still existed. But they don't, so she gets to do her thing, make some useful 1-drops, and move your Wolf around. The only card really competing with Surge on Ubiquity is Merlin, and he is shaping the whole metagame, right? Like, there are entire archetypes that exist because he works well with them, things like those Annihilus decks that are only really worth doing because he gives you extra ways to get rid of your downside cards. He's just a very powerful card, generally speaking. I don't find him as oppressive as, say, Iron Patriot in previous metagames when Iron Patriot was discounting to 4. I don't find him as out of line with other 2-drops as Sam Wilson when Sam Wilson was a 2-3 that was getting +2 and also having all of these synergies. He's worse than those cards. But right now, I do think it's very close between him and Surge for absolute best card in the entire game, and I think I might give it the nod to him. I'm not sure these are necessarily the best cards in the sense of highest win rate, but I would say they're the best cards in the sense of even though everyone is playing them, they're still winning. Everyone is prepared for everything these cards are able to bring to bear, and they are still defining the metagame. Merlin, very good. If there's one thing you know about decks like this, is that they have trouble with decks that are able to go over the top of them meaningfully. Right now, a lot of the decks that are able to go over the top of a deck like this are doing so via energy cheat. Now, keep in mind, Kid Omega is supposedly coming to one of the game modes this month, and when that happens, there will be decks that are going over the top of you via Nimrod stuff and not energy cheat at all, and that will change what you want to do with this slot. But for now, you want to stop people who are cheating energy very hard, and that can happen just off like Quinjet decks, right? Pretty good in that situation. Good against Thanos, which is doing a lot of discounting. Good against Skaar, there's discounts in that, right? Like, there's just a lot that this card hits, and then, you know, obviously it takes a huge, massive dump on Mr. Negative. I like the addition of the scaling stuff here, in large part because I really hate playing Gladiator right now. Just generally, there's enough bad hits that I just don't want to be a Gladiator gamer in a deck like this, because although I do have answers to them, my answers are not as clear-cut and are pretty expensive. Whereas, like, in a Wiccan deck, it's like, all right, you know, Gladiator sold, but I'm going to Wiccan, and then I'm going to be able to use that energy to only half of it's going to be needed to Shang-Chi it. That's going to be fine. It's going to be whatever. In this deck, we are probably not reliably going to recover from a Gladiator blowing it. So instead of Gladiator blowing it, we have Werewolf-By-Night getting a little bit bigger, a little bit scarier, and not losing thus the game. I've already talked a little bit about Copycat's synergy with Loki, which is generally valuable information, all seriousness. I just think this card is really good. It's a 3/5 with pretty massive upside. The information it provides can be snappable, just knowing what's going on, knowing what's on the bottom of their deck, and then the massive upside comes in when you get something that's actually amazing, right? An Iron Man or a Super Skrull against an ongoing deck. Things like that are just incredibly impossible for your opponent to play around, and that can help you juice cubes out of anyone. Shang-Chi is Shang-Chi. I really don't have anything new to say about this guy, except I've been kind of making an effort to call him Shang-Chi now, as opposed to Shang-Chi. I'll probably still slip up now and then. It's a habit I've had ingrained in me, but I'm doing my best to at least try. That's where I'm at with this guy. There's so little I can tell you about him gameplay-wise that you don't already know, that we're talking about correct name pronunciation. He meka da big thing go boom. There is a little bit of tension between Galacta and what she wants you to do, and Werewolf-By-Night and what he wants you to do. They don't overlap particularly amazingly, and Werewolf late is not an amazing thing to be doing, so sometimes things will get a little bit awkward between them, but they are your primary methods of making a lot of points. And as much as we talk about the tech in this deck, it's the points that are going to win you games. Like, yeah, okay, Shang, Ench, they're great, but you need numbers to back them up, and this card is numbers. The earlier you get her out, the more numbers she is. It's a good thing you have multiple ways of getting her out on turn 3, because that's really damn good. Ongoings are not the largest part of the meta. This is certainly a card that you're playing more to cover your bases than it is because it's like explicitly amazing right now. But there are situations where this will be good, and I think more than that, the downside of this card is just not very pronounced in a deck like this. Like, oh no, I have no targets. Well, it's a good thing that it's, 2/7 because I hit it with Zabu and of course also Surge, right? Like, you're just chill with that, right? Like a 3/7's pretty good rate. You hit it with one of those things, or a 3/6 if you don't hit it with Surge. The downside risk is not very high. It's not going to be the greatest card in the world, but if you hit it with a Surge, it's not going to be that far off a Copycat that misses, you know? And it's just like, that's probably just a fine thing to have in your deck, especially when the upside is absolutely massive blowouts. Gwenpool is a little bit more of a supplementary points package. Like, obviously she's good, but you have this other stuff that is a little bit better. Like, Galacta is a little bit better. But Gwenpool early, I mean, again, it's a reasonable body. A 3/6 Gwenpool is ridiculous. It's an on-reveal for your werewolf. It's an interesting thing to try to maybe, evolve later in the game off of a polymorph. Go up to a 5-drop if you're looking at a 6. Like a 3/6, you might be able to get something better going up to 5. Just some interesting stuff that this card allows you to do. Generally just kind of like a glue card for this archetype, where it's like, is she the best at doing anything in this deck? No, not really. But she's just a card you're almost always happy to see because it's so impossible for her to be bad in almost every situation. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I've been KM Best. You have been phenomenal. We're going to jump into the gameplay right now. Thanks so much for making it this far. Please remember to like and subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Let's let the gameplay start now. Wolf package in here. I'm not really sure, but I can't imagine Loki's very good. That said, I mean, what am I going to do? Not play him? They immediately snap me, presumably because they have their own casts. Oh, it's Mr. Negative? Surely not, right? Arg? Yeah. Pretty good top deck. Pretty good top deck. Shout out to Loki. We were up by like 5. We had a Sage and a 7. So the Sage would have been about 10 or so. Really good question, honestly. We might win anyway. I'm not sure. No thanks, Pete. Snap. I don't really know what's going on here. I'm still a little confused, to be honest with you. Definitely some weirdness afoot. So I can go like this. Like that, maybe? Six, 8, 10. Maybe that's not enough for me to care, though. Oh, and a poly? That kills me. Oh, it's just OAT. Okay, we're good. Good thing that wasn't a poly. I could... That's quite good. Why did I queue up against you? What? Are you the guy that just, like, absolutely luck-sacked the shit out of the Loki stuff? Because if so, I mean, that was all you, dude. Oh my god. That Legion? No, I don't do that. Are you kidding me? Wait, do they Legion me? Oh, God. Oh, I can see what they're thinking. It's so good that we actually get to do this. Holy fuck. Because we have Prio here, right? And roughly infinite energy. Don't give me a bunch of mockingbirds. Do I want a bunch of mockingbirds? I mean, they're only gonna cost 4. Oh, wait, the copycat's copied, too. Gwenpool first? That's probably true. Nice Legion, dude. Yep. Wait a minute. Chat, did I just accidentally bullshit my way out of this game? Holy fuck. You ever just accidentally the game? Toxin! Oh, Cthulhu Allspark who redeemed Get Cat. I hope that was acceptable, what we did previously there. I hope the cat's appearance there was acceptable. Mirage. Probably a useful Mobius. Surge. Mirage. Big Shanger. Okay, they got their V-hand copy. If you have a different ID, what do you mean different ID? So we copy the V-hand here. Obviously, we're going to Mirage a copy of the V-hand. For sure. Wow. The name in your profile? What do you mean? Try Ultron? No, we're gonna try and win the 75% to have it not discounted here. Of course. Okay, so barring absolute mid-catastrophe, which is entirely possible. Okay, we're good. Barring absolute mid-catastrophe. I mean, I guess both of us got fucked by the... Boy, that's not a good hand. I'm getting Korged on. It's a 50-50 though, isn't it? Oh, hell. Oh, hell. Oh my god! It was a 50-50 the other way! Have you ever seen a plan? And that was pretty much it, I think. Oh, damn, we just played this person and I forgot what they were doing. The same as the 3, except my hand gets a little less clogged. I hope they didn't get my Gwen pool. They did. That's tough. Yes! So that one's the 8 that goes there. No, we don't want it to be that. It goes... Four. The 8 goes there. 4. The 8 goes there. No. 5. The 8 goes there. Nope, that's not it either. Back. Both Merlins! Let's go! Okay. Both Merlins stacking shit up. Wow, that loses me that lane for sure. Luckily, I win every other lane, but that Shadow King went beast mode there. Shadow King went beast mode there for sure. I get it. It's just I had a better Doctor Doom than they did, you know?